again, everybody, and welcome to the Bob Lou Sports Show, where we talk Wisconsin sports and anything pertaining to our Wisconsin sports. Well, here we are. It's 20 games into the Brewers season, and we are still sitting in first place in the National League Central. Who out there would have ever predicted that we'd be at this position this time into the season? I mean, I thought I was being optimistic when I felt like they would fight for first in the playoff position with St. Louis, but I don't know if I would have predicted quite a 14-6 record, tied for the best league with the best record in the National League with Atlanta, and only trailing Tampa Bay in the NL at 17-3 after their outstanding if Tampa's outstanding start. So, how many of you out there um, would have predicted this kind of a start for them? If you have any opinions and thoughts on that, just go ahead and leave a comment over the comment, and I will try and get back and chat with you about that a little bit. So, looking at our division right now, like you said, we're 14-6, but surprisingly, we only have a half game lead over. Well, maybe not surprising that we have a half game lead, but surprising over who's in second place right now at 14-7. That's Pittsburgh. Team I predicted for being a bottom dweller, and it's early in the season. I get all that, so they still could be a bottom dweller by the time we get to the end of the season. But I didn't expect them to even have this kind of start. Chicago, right about where I thought they would be, about a game and a half behind the Brewers. St. Louis is the other big surprise, losing record at 8-12, and currently 6 games behind Milwaukee, and that is stunning to me. And then Cincinnati's where everybody thought they would be at 7-13, 7 games back. But I want to caution my optimism, but I don't see. I see the Brewers maybe being able to maintain most of this throughout the whole season. Um, right now, it's just as last year. It's pitching that's holding us up. Batting is adequate, I would say. I mean, we had Brian Anderson and Bryce Terang. I mean, they started out really, really hot. They've cooled off a bit, but I'm not saying they're doing bad now. They've just cooled off from their very hot start. Yelich started bad, but still is in a slight bit of a slump, but he's hitting 235, but his on-base percentage is 319. Not horrible for a leadoff batter. I know a lot of you people want him hitting home runs and stuff, but I don't think that's the type of player he will ever be again, but I think he can be a very good leadoff batter. And I mean, he's scored 17 runs so far this season, which is first on our team, and he's stolen 4 bases. Those are all stats that you would want at the top of your lineup. And I think he can maintain that. And I think he can be just as important as a leadoff batter as he would have been as a power hitter. And we've got people to hit home runs now. Rowdy, he has 6 home runs already this season, and he's only batting 242. But I mean, he's got the 6 home runs, and he's providing the power that we need. So Yelich can get on. Yelich, any of the other guys up there. Terrain hits at the bottom, but he's usually on in front of Yelich, so those guys can be scoring. Willie Adames, I mean, all those guys. Rowdy's that are drive them in. Brian Anderson, who's been hitting pretty good, drives them in. So I think our batting can get us through it, and I believe some of those guys are going to do better. So I think the batting will, come along and help us along, and we'll be just fine. To go back to the pitching now, that's our bread and butter. That's what is going to get us through and what's going to carry us in the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, that's what you need anyhow, is pitching and good base running. Steals are going to be up because of these new pitch count rules. I mean, the pitchers will figure it out a little bit, but the steals will still be up, which then you can turn around and say, well, maybe 4 stolen bases isn't great with the new rules, but I still think it's adequate for what we need. And once Yelich starts hitting the ball more and getting on more base hits, doubles, and maybe get to where they start walking, and there'll be more stolen bases, and Train's going to steal us some bases, and you know the whole rest of the lineup. Now, pitching is our bread and butter, and right now, if you look through these stats, they're 3.07 ERA, second in the league, 3.3 runs allowed, second in the league. A few years ago, no, I shouldn't say a few years ago, age myself, but when we were in 1982 and stuff, maybe 3.3 wouldn't have been anywhere near second, but it's second in the league nowadays with the new emphasis on scoring runs and letting the batters run and things like that. That's a whole nother podcast. Hits allowed, 7.3, that's fifth. Batting average against, 220, also fifth. And whip at 1.16, also fifth. I mean, all those in the top 5 pitching in the league right now. And that's with, I mean, Corbin Burns, who threw up 2 real stinkers to start the year. And I'll know that firsthand because he's my top pitcher on my fantasy league. So I wasn't, not only as a Brewer fan was I not too happy with that, but my fantasy team took a real shellacking for that. I'm in one of those, one of those replica fantasy leagues, and home runs and runs scored just kill you. He was a negative 30 points his first game of the year for me. But I'm a Brewer fan, so I didn't. So I even had a couple trade offers, but I wouldn't trade him because we knew he was going to get better. We knew he was going to start pitching good, and he's doing quite well now. Lauer, Peralta, I mean, in starting rotation, they're both um, pitching fairly well. And then Wade Miley, I mean, he's just been fantastic. He's got a 2-1 record and an ERA somewhere around 1.5, 1.6, something like that. Not sustainable probably for him, but he'll be around there. I mean, we're looking for Wade to do about the same as he did for us when he was with us a few years ago. And with that, Burns, Lauer, Peralta, Miley, whoever they throw in as their 5th starter until Brandon Woodruff gets back, who, by the way, started off hot too, 1-0, 0.79 until that shoulder injury. But now he'll be out, I believe, still maybe 8 weeks, if not more, from this point on. But once he's back, who has a and Burns returns to form? Burns, Woodruff, Lauer, Peralta, Miley. I mean, geez, there aren't going to be too many pitching staffs that are going to be any more imposing than those 5. So, and we knew what, like I said in my preview, I felt we knew what we had at the back end of the pit rotation with Williams as our closer. I was pretty confident with him, although I think he's only had 1 shot, maybe 2 shots at saves. Now he doesn't have a blown save, and he has 1 save, so it has to be only 1 shot at a save so far. Because the middle lineup that I kind of was worried about in my preview, and it said that I didn't have a whole lot of, we didn't know a lot about him, but I was worried that was going to be our downfall. Bush, Milner, Strzelecki, Varland, all are pitching just terrific ball right now. And again, it is a small sample size. It's only 20 games, we've got 162 game season. So it's not quite a small sample size, but from what we've seen from them, I don't have any reason to believe that they can't continue the way they're going right now. Just like if I was a Tampa Bay fan, I would think, oh, geez, we're not going to lose many games at all year because there's no red flags out there right now. The only red flag we have, I mean, is Yelich is still, I mean, kind of low batting average for many, not just Yelich, so I don't want to just point him out. Our batting average isn't the highest. And we need Woodruff to come back. But other than that, I don't see too much to worry about right now that says that we can't go the rest of the season and on to the playoffs. And right now, every other team other than Atlanta who's looking next to us, every other team is looking up at us right now. So playoffs are bust? No, I don't want to say that, but right now I'm just as optimistic, if not more, than I was when we first started this conversation, or I did my preview. So, with that said, I believe today's the 22nd. I should know this off the top of my head, but I'm sorry, I do not. The Brewers are at, yes, I should know that, taking on Boston tonight. And the aforementioned Wade Miley is taking his 2-1 record and 1.50 ERA. Yeah, that's what I had. And at home against Boston tonight. So I want to say I'd be watching that game tonight, but I'll probably be checking in on it. But we got another Milwaukee team that's playing tonight down in South Beach that I'll probably be watching that one tonight, of course. But I think that's all I've got on the Brewers right now. Other Wisconsin news other than the Bucks, which I'm going to be throwing up another podcast here in a few minutes on that, so I don't want to get into that too much. The Packers and Aaron Rodgers thing is just dragging on like we expect it to. I think the more this drags on and the longer this takes, to his credit, Aaron Rodgers is not saying too much anymore, but I mean, he already got himself in enough bad publicity, bad enough spot beforehand that the more this drags on, whether his fault or not, which I don't believe it is, this is now between the two general managers and whatever they can figure out as for the trade, which I still believe will happen. I don't believe any of this noise about San Francisco coming in, swooping in, taking him, or any of that kind of thing. I think he plays for the Jets. I just think that for himself and for his ego, the one bad thing Aaron did was talk about retirement, early in this process, and that's what backed the Jets off. I mean, I know there's reports out there that people say you did or didn't. I gotta believe you have to, because I don't think the Jets came into this thinking that, well, Aaron's just gonna play 1 year and then he's gone. Because who would come out and say he's our quarterback? We're gonna go get him and um, offer draft picks and things like that for a 1 year player. I mean, I don't think that they would do that. It wouldn't be smart. Would not be smart team management, in my opinion. So I think when he said that, that's when the Jets fully comprehended that. That's when they're like, well, no, wait a minute. Let's start throwing some contingencies in here. And then the Packers said, well, that's not what we talked about to begin with. And now that's where we're at, this stalemate. From the beginning, I said I would be happy with just a second round pick. I don't need to have that first round pick because I just don't. We have our first round pick. We'll go out and get a quality player there. And I'm still of the opinion that that second round pick should go for tight end. And then who knows? Maybe we'd have two. Maybe we get both our second picks and get tight end and then some other position. But that's I think all that's still feasible, and all that is what I would be happy with at this point in time. So, with that said, that is all I have for now. I know this is a little bit of a shorter one for me, but I'm going to try and get some more up to dates during the week like this, so that I can stay more. Jesus, where is this? So I can stay more focused on the present news, not have to do recaps, and stay more up to date with everything. So, till next time, don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I Thank you all for watching me. I appreciate it. And until next time, take care.